And Baser Linwood, Audrey Bracken, she is a junior. Michael Ellifrit's a junior as well. Amaya Mendoza, she's a sophomore, and Kyle Payne is a junior. And Kirsten Ussery, she is just a sophomore. Head coach Kelly Cannon for the Bobcats are leading them out here, and they are in the lane immediately in front of where we're sitting. We're on the, let's see, I believe the northernmost end of Gage Bowl. For those of you that have been here in Topeka and checked out this fantastic bowling establishment, they've been great, hospitable hosts for us as long as we've been here today. Expect more of the same throughout this afternoon. Next, we're going to talk about the Blue Comets of Chanute. The Blue Comets are represented by Trenton Allen. He's a senior. Jet Cosby is a sophomore. Noah Fry is just a freshman, as is Jacob Shepard and Thomas Shook, both freshmen. The head coach for the Blue Comets, Roy McCoy. And the Buffaloes of Garden City. The Buffaloes, represented by Karsten Nichols. She's just a sophomore. Skylar, and I know, Skylar, I'm probably going to butcher your name, and I apologize right now. Skylar Ratanakun. I think that's close. I'm going to get official word from that. Hopefully we can get Skylar over here to tell us in person. She is a senior. Guadalupe Salazar is a senior, and Kylie Whitehurst, just a sophomore for the Buffaloes out of Garden City. They are coached by Kip Nichols, who's bringing his crew all the way up from Garden City today. Next we have Goddard Eisenhower. In fact, Goddard Eisenhower, the reigning state champs here in the Unified Bowling. They won the first and only championship that took place last year. And that team is made up of 3 juniors, a senior, and just a freshman, led by Aaron Brandt. Aaron's a senior. Olivia Chora, she is a junior. Danae Loomis, also a junior. Caleb Robinson, just a freshman. And Julia Tiano, she is a junior. The head coach for Goddard Eisenhower, beg your pardon, is Brian Adelgren. And the superintendent over there in Goddard is Dr. Justin Henry. Next, we move on to another school a little bit out west that had to make a pretty early drive today, and that was the good folks from Hayes, the Indians, well represented here. Benjamin Bergman, he's just a freshman. William Clark is a sophomore. Riley Green is a junior. Lucinda Mead is a freshman, and Luke Schmidt is a senior. Head coach is Richard Hodges, and the Indians are wearing their burgundy tops. As we can see, a different angle there. A number of the bowlers, like I said, getting in their final practice throws and rolls, depending on how you look at it. Throwed rolls. Where's that? As I look to David Trimble, where do they have? Is it Sykeston? They have the throwed rolls. He's looking at me like he has Lambert's in Sykeston. That's exactly right. Thank you, David Trimble. Next, we're going to move on to Piper High School, the Pirates of Piper. Colton Bard, he's a sophomore. Jonathan Breathwaite, he is a senior. Lalani Kamai, she's a sophomore. Brody Merrick is a sophomore. And Darren Spack is a junior. Head coach for the Pirates is Jack Sample. Pirates are going to be wearing their dark-colored tops. You have a little bit of blue trim. And they are about halfway down as we look at the image right now on your screen. And as I said, we'll try to do our very best to make sure that everybody gets highlighted and get a little bit of screen time here during the bowling championships. It will be a fast and furious, about an hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes. They go through, one game essentially, and you weren't here with us earlier. Give you a little kind of a background on the Unified Bowling structure. They will. It's sort of a shared. It's a shared bowling experience for these students. Now, the 1st, the 4th, the 7th, and 10th frames will be bowled by the Special Olympic students of that respective school, and they will be joined by their fellow students and their fellow athletes who will fill in on the other frames until they get to 10, and may the best team win. Essentially, the highest score will win, and we will bring you up to speed on those scores just as soon as we have them. Like I said, they're still in the practice rows right now and taking their time to kind of get a feel for the lanes and get their spin just right. We'll move on to the let's see, it's the Lansing Lions up next. They will be wearing their dark red tops. We have 5 participants here, starting with Carl Berlin. He's a junior. Addison Lynch is also a junior. Kenyon Meadows is a freshman. Jacob Pennington is a junior. And Riley Saride is also a junior. Their head coach is Linda Tekilvi, I believe it is. And I apologize, Linda. Hopefully we're going to have Linda over here on the broadcast at some point today. We have Olathe East, the Hawks of Olathe East. And they are led by William Aranjo. He's a junior. Merrick Desmang is a junior as well. Brock Smith, he's a senior. Melissa Sullivan's a senior. And Isabel Wollenscroft is also a senior for Olathe East. They are led by head coach Amy Hill. Those are the Hawks of Olathe East. Now the Ravens down the road from Olathe East. These are the Ravens from Olathe Northwest. Balin Backham is a sophomore. Cameron Carlstead is a senior. Justin Delgado is a junior. Jack Fuller is a senior. And Justin Preston, also a senior for the Ravens. Head coach is Dominic, I believe it's Fluis. Dominic Fluis is what we're going with. David Trimble says that's exactly how you pronounce it, so if it's wrong, my name is David Trimble. If it's right, my name is Sean Brewer. Moving on to the Owls, also Olathe. They're with Olathe West, just down the road from Northwest. Levi Amos, he's a senior. Addison Badowski, a junior. George Grace is a senior. Blake Lomnicki is a senior. And Jacob Swartz is a sophomore. Their head coach, Corey, we're just going to say head coach Corey, and we're going to have her over here, hopefully, on the broadcast, but Coach Corey's done a great job with that Owls team this year and last, and hear a lot of hooting and hollering already here. I think that was a team from Hayes, and I tell you what, folks, the contingent from Hayes is here in force. I'm going to estimate that nearly, I'd say about 40 fans made the trip in here all the way down I-70 from Hayes this morning to cheer on their bowlers and represent their community. That's a great thing to see. Next, we're going to move on to Blue Valley North, the Mustangs, led by head coach Aaron Nathan. And their bowlers, they brought 4 to represent the Mustangs. Calvin Albert, he's a junior. Anas Al-Shabaki is a sophomore. William Grobel is a sophomore. And Eli Nathan is a freshman. Now, up the road, Blue Valley Northwest, the Huskies. And they're led by head coach Sarah Dirks. And they have 4 bowlers here, and they are ready to go. Dylan Eblin, he's a senior. Elijah Henderson, also a senior. Bailey Kinkelar is a sophomore, and Madison Sylvia is also a sophomore for the Huskies out of Blue Valley Northwest. The Cougars of Salina bringing 5 bowlers to the championships today. Head coach Kevin Miller, excited about what his team has in store today for them. Dayton Brown is a freshman. Deontay Morton is a sophomore. Christopher O'Connor is a senior. Avania Ordonez, also a senior. And Daniel Welsh, just a freshman for the Cougars of Salina. How about those Lancers from Shawnee Mission East, led by head coach Cheryl Kaplan. Their 5 bowlers, Grace and Grace. David Trimble, we're going to have to find out the proper pronunciation of Grace from Shawnee Mission East. I'm going to say Ainsley, and I hope that's right. Ainsley, Grace Ainsley. But we're going to find out for you for sure. Mason Craven is a senior for the Lancers as well. Blake Danforth, just a sophomore. Got Jack Shelton, who's a senior, and Ben Smith, also a senior laden team for this Lancer program here, representing Shawnee Mission East in the Unified Bowling Championship. Shawnee Mission Northwest, the Cougars. Those Cougars led by head coach Deborah Jenkins, and I think I saw athletic director Angelo floating around here somewhere sporting his Cougar gear. Always a treat to see him. Does a great job over there for Shawnee Mission Northwest. Emma Dolashaw is a junior. Gabriella Gavin is a senior. William Hall, a senior. Brooklyn Peck is just a sophomore, and Tanner Pruder is a senior for the Cougars of Shawnee Mission Northwest. And we are, I'd say, what are we, about three frames into this first game, and we got some great scores going up already, and probably heard in the background the cheers to some of the great shots that have been made out here. For those of you that have watched bowling on, like ESPN or some other channels over the years, at times there's not a lot of noise, and everybody erupts with applause and their adulation. Of the 65 high school students that are participating here today in Topeka at the Gage Bowl, 26 of them are seniors, 18 juniors, 18 sophomores, and 9 freshmen make up that list of 65. As I said, the Goddard, the Eisenhower squad from Goddard are the reigning state champs. They are here again to try to defend their title, maybe even take home another one. I'm talking about bowling. We had a chance to speak with a couple of these coaches, and they kind of put us through sort of a trivia contest, and I'd like to pass along some of those to you as well. Here's some bowling facts that you probably weren't aware of. Did you know that the maximum number of holes allowed in a bowling ball is, you would think, what, 3? You can have 3 holes in the bowling ball? No, if you said 3, you were wrong. But the maximum number of holes allowed in a regulation bowling ball is 12. So I guess you can have all of your fingers and 2 toes in your bowling ball, but I'm not sure how you'd really release that down the lane, but it is 12. The first indoor bowling lanes were built in New York City all the way back in 1840, when I was just 3 years old, back in 1840. The first indoor bowling lanes. The largest bowling center in the history of bowling centers was in Japan, where it had over 100 lanes. In fact, it topped out at 116 lanes in that bowling alley. That is a lot of lanes. Sometimes I wish I-70 had some of those lanes, but it's a whole other story. Now, you've probably heard of, get the turkey, and have you heard of what the golden turkey is? Now, the golden turkey is if you bowl 9 strikes in a row, the golden turkey. That doesn't mean you bowl a 300 because you still got to finish the job in the 10th frame, but that is a golden turkey. And there's a lot of excitement over here. We've got Dave Trimble going to be visiting with a couple of the other programs here. And there we go. We have some nice action going on here right in front of us in the, I believe that is 15 and 16. And we're going to get dizzy as we see David Trimble walking through the crowd. We're going to switch back. And there he is. All right. Now I can promise you that there's not an earthquake or anything like that going on. Just my man David Trimble moving the camera to try to get you a different perspective and show you some of these great bowlers out there. There's some, here we got one right in front of us here in lane number 13. And that is Piper, the Pirates of Piper. Looks like he's got a real nice frame going there. Looks 7 or 8 pins. Back to a little bit of bowling trivia. They're just kind of interesting notes to know. That a bowling pin is required to be exactly how high? How high does a bowling pin have to be? Well, if you said 15 inches, you are correct. Bowling pin is required to be 15 inches in height. Here's another bowler from Piper High School. And a nice roll down the left side, able to get 3 or 4 on that first attempt. A couple lanes over, we see a nice spare picked up. So great to see so many of these colorful and very charismatic bowlers out here with, and there's a strike. Oh, almost a strike. Came awful close there. He'll have a shot to pick up that spare down the right, but another Piper bowler here, setting up nicely, and he gets, looks like he's going to pick up another 6 on that one, only leaving a couple there. As you see David kind of moving around here just a little bit. Here on the 10th lane, I believe that is Chanute, the Blue Comets of Chanute. Blue Comets of Chanute, you have great athletic programs, including the Unified Bowling. Good time to say a big thank you to all the folks here at Gage Bowl. They do a fantastic job making sure everything's just right for all the participants and all the fans as well. A little more interesting bowling trivia. What is the minimum weight requirement for a bowling ball? What is the minimum that a bowling ball can weigh? Well, I can tell you that the lightest one ever made weighed only 4 pounds. But a bowling ball is allowed to weigh up to 16 pounds. That's a lot of weight. 16 pounds, my goodness. It's about what I usually eat at the buffet, but once again, that's a whole other story. Did you know the bowling lanes are made up of a very specific combination of lacquers and woods? That's exactly right. They are 60 feet long, and traditionally they're made from exactly 39 strips of wood. So in each lane, as you can see, once David kind of, we're going to ship over here, and well, he kind of rearranges things. And he's still on the move, getting a lot of folks, and a lot of fans in the stands, if you will. Good folks over here at the Special Olympics. And how about this? The folks in the, there we go. Okay. Back to the action here. Got a Bobcat bowler. Bayshore Linwood Bobcats. Now, a number of these bowlers have brought their own shoes and they brought their own balls. I'll tell you this, that they take their bowling very, very seriously. Had a chance to visit with a few of them before the action started, and they let me know, a couple of them let me know in no uncertain terms that they have been practicing a long time, and they've been looking forward to this day since the beginning of the year, and many of them since they were here last year. They talked about just how much fun that they had, how enjoyable this experience is, and certainly complimentary and thankful of their teachers and everybody at their respective schools that make this event what it is. There's another shot, this one of the south end looking north. And the folks at Hayes, they are enjoying themselves. In fact, there's so many fans from Hayes that there's just not enough seats for them. And they're standing there, 3 or 4 deep back there, cheering on their Indian bowlers. And that is a fun sight to see. And we see the back of a couple of folks' heads. Good fans here. Special Olympics, of course, a huge part of this event. I'm going to ask you, David Trimble, what is a 5-bagger in bowling? A 5-bagger. He's thrown up his arms because he has no idea. But he's going to throw on the headset here in a second once he figures out how to put it over his ears. There we go. A 5-bagger. How about a 5-bagger?
A five-bagger, I believe, would be when they pick up the spare of 5. They got 5 on the first try, and then they pick up the spare to get the last 5 on their second bowl.
Friends, if you're listening to David Trimble's answer, just know that he is wrong. A 5-bagger is when you get 5 strikes in a row. 5 in a row.
So turkey, what's 4?
Well, if I told you it was a 4-bagger, would you believe?
4-bagger? No, I think it's another animal.
Wrong, David Trimble. It is a 4-bagger, 4 strikes in a row.
I would like to see it kind of like golf. They're all birds. So 3 would be a turkey.
Sure.
4 would be an eagle.
Eagle and ostrich.
5 would be an emperor penguin
Or a meadowlark, I was thinking. Parakeet.
Well,
Toucan.
being in Kansas,
Fair enough.
maybe we could do the Midwestern golden meadowlark. Isn't that the state bird of Kansas?
That is a great question.
So when I was walking down and looking at some of the scores, we've got a pretty wide range of scores. We got some that are in the 110s, 120s. We got some that are up in the 160s, 170s.
I think what you're trying to say is there are so much better bowlers than we are.
Oh, absolutely. I've only seen, I think, maybe 1 or 2 gutter balls, and those were on when they were trying to pick up a 7 by itself, or a 10 by itself over on the side, and it just kind of creeped off the edge of the lane there into the gutter. But these, and also another thing, we're going to have a hard time updating on scores, just because the rate of play is different for everybody. Because I had some teams were already on their second game, and some were still in 7, 8, 9, 10 frames of their last one. Of their first one, I'm sorry. And so we're not going to be able to have scores throughout the tournament. Everybody's going to be in suspense. We are right there with you. I can kind of get a little bit of a sneak peek at some of the scores, but my mental math is not good enough to keep up with all of that. We have 15 teams here, and they are all bowling at the same time. I believe everybody should be on their second game as of right now. I think we're going to get Sean Brewer out on the lanes, doing a little bit of interviewing as they have time.
I'm going to start moseying away and try to get some of these great bowlers and the fans to talk a little bit about who they're here to support, and let me get some general thoughts on this fantastic program that we have here in Kansas. So I'm going to hand it over to David Trimble.
And welcome back, everybody. We're getting Sean all mic'd up and ready to go to be out there amongst the people. And there are, as Sean was saying, numerous for all of the Hayes is closest to us, so I think that's why he was saying it there. But it is 4 deep or more all the way down the lanes for all of the teams. Everybody coming out to support their team of Special Olympians and high school students. Not 100% sure if Sean told you, but we have 65 high school students out here from all over, as he gave you the not necessarily a starting lineup, but the participants, if you will. Some teams with 5, some teams with 4, some teams with 3, I believe. I don't think there were any teams of 3. They were all 4s and 5s. And that is just on the number of participants that they have for each school. The maximum is 6. So I believe that was what it was. It's 4, 5, and 6 member teams. They are all taking their turns. And Sean is almost set up on the far end. So we are going to go over to him right now as he's getting set up. He is down in the area of lane 7, 8, 9, Lansing, Salina South, and Olathe West. Lane 10, Chanute. As we see some assistance, once they have it set up, the Special Olympian is responsible for any movements that they want to do to the ramp. I believe that the coaches and other team members, we're going to Sean right now.
Taking it home. So are you the best bowler on this team?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think your teammates would agree. Well done there, picking up that spare.
Thank you for this comment, sir.
Absolutely. Very nice. What school are you guys with?
Piper.
Piper, the Pirates of Piper. Very good. Blue Valley Northwest coming up next. Oh boy. Elijah's got himself a little bit of a mess here. Can Elijah make this?
Maybe, hopefully.
Hopefully. All right. Okay. Pick this up. Right down the middle. That was a tough shot there. Good job, Elijah. Saw her bowling in one dance. Look at it. Oh! What I like about that young bowler, she just walks back like she's done it all her life. Like, yeah, I just got 9, no big deal. Now, what school? Oh, you're from Garden City.
Garden City.
Very good, very good. Part of the program.
I'm a sophomore, so 2 years.
2 years, very good. And are you the head coach? Tell me what it means to all these kids that are part of your program to have an event like this, you know, to showcase their skills, obviously, but also to come together as a team.
It's just amazing for us to have an opportunity to have our kids in a program like this. Give some of our special needs students an opportunity to get out there and compete. And, you know, there's nothing better for them than to put the school uniform on and be out there for their team. So it's meant everything for us. My assistant coach and I are both special ed teachers. So this is right in our wheelhouse. We love it. And we're glad to be here again this year.
Very good, very good. Garden City, the Buffaloes making the trip up here. And well represented from what I can see.
And we are still underway. I'm going to wait till Sean gets back and he can give me an update on about where we're at in the games. Each team bowling 3 games, and then they switch lanes to their adjacent lane and then they will bowl an additional 3 games, 6 games total. And it is a race to the finish for most all the teams. We're not able, with 15 lanes of bowling and everybody bowling at a different speed, we are not quite able to get running scores as they are happening. So we are in just as much suspense as you with where we are in the standings. Top 3 teams receive it's in between a trophy and a plaque. And then I believe it's the top 5 teams will receive medals as well. And just right here on lane 27, Baser Linwood, a very dramatic strike on that one where the last pin was teetering, wobbling, and it finally does fall for the strike. And that's the magic of bowling. Sometimes that goes your way. Sometimes it wobbles around a little bit, and then it says, "Not today. I am not falling over today." So this is an absolutely fantastic event here. Great venue here. Thank you for hosting us at the Gage Bowl in Topeka. And this is the host school is Topeka Seaman High. And Sean is back in the booth with us here. What were the scores looking like when you were down there?
Better than ours, David. Better than ours.
I would most definitely need the bumpers, which those are not allowed in Kansas State Finals competition. The bumpers are not allowed. Participants are able to use a ramp if needed. They are responsible for making any adjustments as far as aiming the ramp. Coaches can offer some guidance, but they cannot actually move the ramp as far as I understand it.
That is correct. But David, walking back through the throng of bowlers and fans and support staff here, let me tell you something. This is standing room only here at Gage Bowl.
And another strike here for the Baser Linwood Bobcats.
Goodness.
On lane 28. That is the second one I've seen in the last few minutes here. A little bit of a spoiler alert there. We can't necessarily see all the strikes here, but
more strikes than the 1980s air traffic controllers.
And over on 26, we did just have another strike there. That is Hayes. And another rather powerful strike it was. I love when the pins rattle around like that.
Pins rattle around in my head quite a bit. So I'm going to leave you to it, go back and have a word with some more of these great bowlers here at Gage Bowl.
And Sean's going to make his way from the booth up here down to the middle of the lanes. And if you're just joining us, thank you. Thank you to Keisha and to 810varsity.com for hosting this live stream of the Kansas Unified Bowling State Tournament. finals competition. And we've got Sean Brewer, our man on the streets, who is getting a little bit more up close and personal. It's a little bit hard to get to each lane because the teams are consisting of 4, 5, and 6 people and coaches. And we don't want to get in.
You made some pretty good shots.
Yeah,
Are you having fun here today?
I should do. Yeah.
Awesome. Very good. Very good.
A little bit of the power of the people. Love to see that camaraderie there. The excitement for the 9 there.
Look at this teamwork right here, David Trimble.
That is absolutely fantastic. Getting those cleaned up.
Going to try to pick up the spare. Sometimes one's right in the middle of the hardest ones to knock down. Let's see. It does have a chance. It does have a chance. He has it. Picks up the spare.
And the encouragement from the team is fantastic.
All right, young man. How many years have you been bowling?
Since I was like 3 or 4.
That's exactly what. You got a ringer here from Hayes, don't you?
Oh yeah, he's good at bowling.
Probably the best one on the team, it looks like, right?
Yeah.
You got a lot of fans here supporting behind you. They made the how many hour drive? Was it about what 3.5, 4?
3 hours. We drove
20 hours and 1 minute.
12 on 12 on Sunday. Stayed at the hotel, practice a little bit. We're doing good.
Yeah, we're doing great actually.
Awesome. Well, we're glad that you're here and glad to see so many of your fans here too. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And a little bit of last minute coaching there.
Oh, didn't quite hang on.
And that is one thing that I have never really been all that great about is using the markers.
Where are you from?
Nathan Northwest.
Oh, the Ravens. All right. Now, how many years have you been bowling?
About many years. On school, I've been doing from last year for tryouts.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen you bowl. I think you've been bowling for quite a long time. You're pretty good.
Yep, I've been pretty good.
What's been the best part of being here today?
The best part period today is getting the best score, or just getting best score and get more strikes.
So, tell me, who are some of the other bowlers on your team that are really, really good?
Cam and Justin.
Okay.
Yep.
Very good. All right. Thank you very much. All right, young man, how many years have you been bowling?
A month. What?
2? Oh, 2. You've only been bowling for 2 years?
Yeah, 2. Yes, 2.
So obviously bowling comes pretty naturally to you, I can tell.
Maybe.
So what has been the best part of being here this Monday afternoon in Topeka for the 2022 Unified Bowling Championships?
The friendship of friends. Friends and friendships.
I had somebody tell me earlier that the best part of being here today was getting out of class. What do you think about that?
No.
Got a ringer here. All right, young man. Now, if you could be anywhere in the world right now, where would it be?
Well,
If you could be anywhere in the world right now, where would it be? Would it be right here?
Yeah.
Well, it looks like you're having a lot of fun. You're all smiles back here. How long have you been bowling?
2.
Just 2 years? I don't know about that. I saw you bowl too in the warm-ups. Well, I saw you bowl in the warm-ups. I think you may have, 5, 6, 7 years? Do you give lessons?
I don't think so.
Well, the way that you bowl, maybe you should. You're doing a great job. What's something you want to say to all your friends back in Olathe?
I'm here for I'm here for Special Olympics bowling for state, and we're going to win. And we're doing great. So, yeah.
All right. And what's your name, young man?
Jack Full.
Jack, thank you so very much. Good job.
Love the confidence there. Line up a shot with the Shawnee Mission Northwest Cougars. See if they can pick up that spare.
And we're moving.
Try and swap back and forth so that you don't get vertigo while Sean is moving throughout the crowd. We want to get you some of these crowd shots here so you can possibly see yours.
Hey, Dave. Hey, Dave. Things are so exciting down here in lane 20 that everyone on the... Let's see. This is... Trying to tell you the team.
Shawnee Mission East.
Oh, no wonder. The defending champs. They are all on their feet. A lot of excitement over here trying to defend their state title.
Shawnee Mission East right next to Shawnee Mission Northwest. The Shawnee Mission schools there. Shawnee Mission East, like Sean said, looking to defend their title. And that looked like a pretty nice ball there. So Shawnee Mission Northwest Cougars. And that was a nice, powerful strike right there. I believe that was Goddard Eisenhower, if I'm not mistaken. It looked like
We got quite the battle brewing over here in lanes 19 and 20, David.
That's what I was saying.
The
19,
Lancers
Goddard
out of
Eisenhower.
Shawnee Mission East. Goddard Eisenhower trying to defend their title. The Lancers sitting with a blistering 179 after 9 frames.
That is about 79 more than I typically get. I like to try and stay right around 100.
187, 180.
Oh yeah, I am talking to you, young lady. Well, let me ask you this. You are part of a game that put up 187 points. Now, is this usually what happens when you all get together and bowl?
Yeah.
You're that good?
Yeah.
Would you consider giving lessons?
Yeah.
Okay, I may have to come back and get some of those lessons because you guys are on fire. In fact, I don't know that I've seen a score quite as high. So keep up the good work. And what is your name, young lady?
Meredith Ainsley.
All right, Ainsley. Ainsley. That's a, I struggled with your name when I was introducing everybody earlier on the broadcast on 810 Varsity, and I was hoping it was Ainsley, but good luck to you and the Lancers. What do you want to tell all your fans at home?
Go Lancers!
Go Lancers. Very good. Thank you.
And that is fantastic there from Shawnee Mission East. I have to apologize. The Goddard Eisenhower High School are the reigning champs, 2021 state champs, with a score of 900. And that was back on November 18th of 2021. Sean getting us some up close shots here. Not able to see the logo there.
All right, you are with Olathe East?
Yeah.
Yes, all right. And how many years, first of all, how many years have you been a part of this program?
This is my first year.
All right, and what's your name?
Isabel Wilson Croft.
Isabel Wilson Croft? Is it Wilson Croft or Wilson Croft? Will? Will? Okay, all right. So tell me, what is besides getting out of class today, what's one thing that you're always going to remember about being here for the State Unified Bowling Championships?
Definitely my teammates and this guy over here, Merrick.
Merrick. So I need to have a word with my man Merrick over here. All right. Yeah, he's looking away. I still see you over here, Merrick. All right, my man. Merrick, what's been the best part of being here today, my man?
Michael's a playing guy. Yeah, play with him. That little glasses guy.
Talking about his dad.
Oh, his dad? All right, okay. Say hi to your dad. Okay.
Hey, Merrick, you ask you more questions.
So how long have you been bowling?
I won at 2 points.
You did? You won 2 years.
3 years.
You won 2 years. You won third in state last year.
Third at state last year? Yeah. Now, when you went back to school, were people asking for your autograph?
I do.
Hey, are you ready to bowl? It's your turn.
Uh-oh.
Ready to go?
Gotta go see him bowl. I'm gonna talk to you next.
Merrick with the strike. And they're getting the pin set back up for him. And a very nice, looks like a 7 there. Can't quite tell from my angle if there's one hiding behind there.
So tell me, who's the best bowler on your team? I'm sorry? Oh, Hayden. Okay, all right. Now, what's the best thing about being here today? How long of a drive was it this morning?
Good.
All right. So, once you're out of high school, what is it that you would like to do? What do you want to be when you grow up?
Did you get a heck good?
Tell me something about your coach, or your coaches.
Okay, did you go use speed?
Very good. And who's your friend behind you over here?
Riley.
And is she a pretty good bowler? I don't know. Let's see. Who's the better bowler between you two?
Skylar.
Got it. Yeah, bye.
All right, Skylar. Very nice. Well, good job. Thanks for making the trip up here.
And we are still going on all 15 lanes. like I said before, we are not sure of any of the current standings, just with the rate of play for all of the different teams. Everybody bowls at their own pace. People have their own little rituals and things that they like to do. Get lined up with the arrows, however many boards over they want to be.
Okay, young lady. So, tell me, when you get back to Garden City, what's one of the first things you're going to do? Are you going to celebrate being here in the state tournament?
Yeah.
When you go somewhere to celebrate, where do you usually go? Do you have a place you like to go eat or do something fun?
Eat, yeah.
Where is that? Let me guess. Is it ice cream?
Yeah.
What kind of ice cream do you like?
Chocolate.
Chocolate. All right. So if you win the state title today, do you think we can get your coach to buy you chocolate ice cream?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I see the coach back there. I don't know. He's thinking about it. All right. Doing a great job today.
And I'm wondering if I can get in on some of that ice cream.
David Trimble, we have our first candidate for the all-hair team here at the 2022 Unified Bowling
I
Championships.
think that is the captain of the team, Sean.
All right, my man, what is your name?
My name is William Maranjo.
Now, tell me, how long have you been growing those luscious locks of hair?
I've been growing it to get to this length like a year or two.
Is that real hair or is that a wig?
Oh, it's all real. You can tug on it all you want.
We'll take your word for it. Well, congratulations, as you've just made the 2022 Unified Bowling all-hair team.
Hey, I'll try to make it next year too.
So what's been the best experience or best part of this experience for you? Not just here today, but just through the season.
I think the best part is just meeting all the people. It's just been great making friendships with people I normally wouldn't see during the school day. So.
I gotta say, if we've got a standing room only situation behind you, my goodness, there has to be, what, 300-400 people here? How exciting is that for you?
That's very exciting to have all these people come out and watch us. It's a nice thing to see.
And I'm sure your teammates are equally as excited as see so much support here.
Yeah, there's everyone on the team, the community, it's been nice.
Very much.
And we'll let Sean move around, get set up again to bring you some up close and personal action.
I'm sorry.
And I think there might be one hiding behind that head pin on that one. I can see that. It's going to be a little bit of a tough spare to pick up there. But again, if you are just joining us, this is the state competition here at the Gage Bowl in Topeka. The Unified Bowling Championships. All of the teams bowling 6 games. And it is total number of downed pins. And we do not have a running total, just given the rate of play for all the different teams is different.
David Trimble, you got yours on? All right, we're down here. We're back in lane 10. I tell you what, you can cut the tension with a knife. We got some big time scores over here. As you can see, everybody with this team, they are just dialed in.
Lane 10, Chanute Bowling team, they had a little bit of a
Tries to
drive
pick up the
getting
spin.
here.
Lets it rip. Oh! Just one away. Yeah,
was a
total
tough
is 60 through 5 frames.
That was a tough one to pick up there. Trying to switch it back so you don't get
The
too much.
Owls of Olathe West.
Olathe West in lane 9. Salina South in lane 8. Lansing in 7. 9 there. I believe that was
Chanute over here, lane number 9. Looking good from here. What was that? Wow. That's some spin.
And excuse me on that one, my lane assignment was before the switch, so they must be on game 4 or better down there on lanes 7, 8, 9, 10. They bowled 3 games and then switched. And not able to pick that one up. That was a tough one as well. Ooh, and over there on lane 8, I believe that would be, well, I'm not sure if they've switched yet, so that's Lansing or Salina South. Picking up that spare there. And Sean is working his way through the crowd. You can see that this is standing room only. 4, 5, 6 deep here at Gage Bowl in Topeka. Fantastic facilities here hosting. They've got 40 lanes of bowling, a ticket redemption arcade, full restaurant, full bar. Make sure you check them out for all of your party needs. And as I'm looking out here, it looks like a lot of the students are up there and excited. Standing room only. A lot of the teams up on the steps, not sitting down in their kind of their preparation area. Sean, what was the feeling when you were down there? Was the excitement pretty palpable?
David, it's just tense. That's all I can say. There's a lot of emotion right now in all, 22 lanes here at Gage Bowl. These teams are dialed in. Earlier today, we heard a lot of hooting and hollering and glad handing, but tell you what, this is getting down to crunch time right now, and everybody knows that every pin counts. And you can hear just in the background how much more quiet it is.
And when you were down there, could you tell, I think when you were given a little bit of a highlight on there, I was looking at the lane assignments, so I think some of the teams have switched. So I think that means that we have to be game 4, 5, and 6, at least on some of them down there in the 7, 8, 9, 10 lane range. They are on their final 3 games.
Final 3 frames of the second game, I think, is what you're saying.
No, each one is a game.
Yes.
Game. No, a frame is one individual.
Vertical. Yes.
And then there's 10 frames in a game. They're doing 6 games.
They're doing 6 games.
6 games of bowling. 3 games. 6 games of bowling, 3, and then they switched lanes. And we are trying to get somebody from Acacia here, trying to talk with us here.
I can tell you what, Dave, We've got some VIPs here in attendance. Of course, John Johnson, one of the most instrumental players of bringing Unified Bowling to the state of Kansas. Former longtime athletic director of Shawnee Mission South in Overland Park. Nothing greater than being a Raider, he would want me to say. He is here as well as Bill Faflick, the Grand Poobah of Keisha, and I think pretty much.
I have seen him running around, as he always is.
Well, that's just, you know what, I'm glad you said that. Oftentimes, you know, in some organizations, the big wigs just kind of stand around and bark out orders. I'm not sure that I've seen a more active and hard-working executive director. And folks, we don't work for him. This is just an observation that that we picked up over the years, but he does a great job. And we're also going to have Ann Diedrich over here with Keisha, and she's going to join us here for a couple of minutes. In fact, I'm going to switch headphones with David Trimble real quick here.
All right, Sean is heading back down the lanes to get some up close and personal shots for you here. And I am joined by Ann Diedrich. Am I saying that right?
Annie, yes.
Annie. Okay. Oh, yep, there it is. I need my glasses. I don't have them on. And what is your role here with Keisha?
I am one of the assistant executive directors at Keisha, and Unified Bowling and Interscholastic Bowling are two of my sports. So I am here for the administrator of Unified Bowling.
And you said two of your sports, and that they have, you know, I know Rod Garman, he's over, what, soccer, swim and dive. So do all of the administrators have multiple sports that they do?
Yes, we all have like different assignments. This fall has been busy with, I had girls tennis and then followed up by girls gymnastics and volleyball, and now Unified Bowling. Also do the KY leadership, as well as then bowling and boys tennis in the spring.
That is fantastic to hear. So what do you think about this turnout here?
This is incredible. I just love this day, this event. It brings people together. I think it is the epitome of what sportsmanship is all about and what we aim for when we look at student participation. And, you know, everyone is here cheering for each other and excited.
That was a nice bear pick up there. I definitely couldn't have done that.
Nope.
I mean, and we've talked about Hayes, I think, just because they're closest to us, but they were here beating down the doors. Not really beating down the doors, but they were here. I mean, it was 10 o'clock in the morning. I think they were saying that I think it was them, that they said they drove up last night, stayed in a hotel, so they got here early this morning.
Yes, and so did Garden City. They came up last night and came here and practiced, and so yeah, it's been exciting. And when we talk about Hayes, that's my alma mater, so I prodded them maybe a little bit more to say, you need to be doing Unified and bowling. If these are my sports, then we need to bring you on board.
And you guys need to show up, and they definitely did show up.
They did.
Who do you think, you probably know, who had the longest trip here?
It would be Garden City had the longest trip. Yes, and they qualified last year as well, so they've made this trip to the eastern part of the state twice now.
I think Sean was talking to them, and I think he said that, it was a 3+ hour trip that they were making.
Oh, at least,
to get here.
Uh-huh.
And so, do you have any idea where we are at? I think when Sean was down at the other end, I was telling kind of by the lane assignments that some of them in the 7, 8, 9, 10 lane area they have made the switch, so they're on game 4, 5, or 6.
Yes.
Is everybody kind of in that same area within a game or two, or are we all over the place?
I would say everyone is at least at 4+. Probably most are on 5 and 6 right now as scores are kind of coming in. And so it won't be long. They'll tally up the scores, and then we'll have our winners announced.
And then it was 1, 2, and 3. They get now, do you call those a trophy or a plaque? Because they're kind of in between. It's like a standing plaque or a trophy.
It is. It's our trophies for first, second, and third place, and as well as medals. So they will also receive medals.
Okay, and that's for all of the participants here. And now you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think we have 65 of the high school students here, and how many total do we have bowling? Do you have that number offhand?
We don't have those numbers yet because we do a fall participation survey and a winter, and since Unified kind of falls in between those two, we're doing their participation in winter instead of fall. So I don't have the totals for that. We did increase from 29 schools participating last year to 39 schools participating this year. So,
and then there's 15 that made it through the regionals. When does this season start?
It starts a little bit later. This year it started on September 26th, and so that's the first day of practice. They have 4 regular season meets that they can have, and then we do regionals 1 week, which was last week, and then state this week.
Okay, so a little bit shorter of a season than, say, something like baseball or football.
Definitely. Part of that is, it's tough to find bowling centers, especially if you're a heavy populated area and you're having to share with other schools. You might have practice on Mondays and Tuesdays, and another school has it Wednesdays, Thursdays, and by the time you get some meets in there, it works. But definitely could be something we look at extending because of the popularity, but we also know that this is our week of winter sports, so if any of our partners will participate in a winter sport, they need to be available to go on to their next season.
Very true. Well, I know that you are very busy, so I don't want to take up too much of your time here. I'm just kind of giving you a little bit of a break. I've seen you running around like crazy here.
Well, thank you.
Any parting words that you want to say?
I just think it's phenomenal that we have, Keisha has put forth that effort to come up with our first unified sport, and we hope it's not our last.
Well, we are absolutely happy to be here broadcasting this. This is going to be on 810 Varsity. You can see that. Probably the easiest way to get there is through the YouTube page. And we're live right now, and then that will be up for viewing later. And we've had several people around here asking for that link, so this will be there, and hopefully we'll be back to do many more.
Wonderful. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to be here today. Thanks.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much, and have a great rest of your day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thanks. And we'll let her get back up there. She's going to be doing, I see them moving the screen. I think that is in anticipation of some of the awards. And I think it's quieted down a little bit, so I think that we might be getting done on some of the lanes. I think we only have about 5 or 6 lanes active right now. Sean is back from downrange, if you will.
Downrange.
Down lanes, if you will.
They're still going strong. We've got, I want to say, 4 or 5 lanes finishing up their second game. And they're already making preparations for the awards ceremony. Rest assured, folks, we're going to bring all of that action to you live. And now's when I would typically say live on 810 Varsity, and well, guess what? That's exactly where we are. We're live on 810varsity.com. Big thanks to Chad and Nolan back at the mothership for making sure all the 1s and 0s line up in the right order, and able to bring this to you here at no cost this afternoon. from Gage Bowl in Topeka. Looking at some of these scores, Dave, they keep going up. Kind of like my waistline and my weight, but we've gone from, I think, some of the early scores in the first games, 130, 135, and saw one close to 200 just a couple of seconds ago. And these athletes, certainly, they come loaded for bear on this one.
And that is incredible because when I am bowling, I am happy when I'm breaking 100. And they're getting 200s, 170s, 180s.
Well, I'm hopeful that soon I'm going to be able to not have to use the bumpers, but, you know.
Well,
I can dream.
Practice makes perfect, so you just keep using those and getting more and more comfortable. And it is definitely tense around here. As again we said, looks like they are getting ready to set up for the awards. So we're going to go try and jockey for some position to be able to bring that to you. Live on A10varsity.com. We're going to go see if we can get maybe a sneak peek at some of the scores. I don't know if they would trust us with that information. But we're going to leave you here with some of the final action going on as we get set up for the award ceremony that should be coming up relatively soon.
Welcome back, folks. 65 high school students made up of 26 seniors, 18 juniors and sophomores, and 9 freshmen here in Topeka at the beautiful Gage Bowl here in central Topeka, Kansas. Glad you're able to join us here on the A10 Varsity Network, the 2022/23 school year Unified Bowling Championships. 15 teams from across the state converging here on Gage Bowl, including Goddard Eisenhower is trying to repeat as state champs. And by the looks of things earlier, they are going to certainly make it interesting based on the scores that I saw. Heard from a couple of fans out there that they were learning quite a bit with these bowling facts and some of the trivia that we were talking about earlier. So, hey, a little bit is good. How about some more? Might even be a little bit better. Any idea how much a bowling pin weighs? I can tell you that it is 3 1/2 pounds. That is how much a bowling pin weighs. Looks like we're down to maybe one more bowler finishing up the 10th frame, the second game. I think he's with the Indians out of Hayes High School. A lot of excitement right there for the young man. That's a Wonderful thing to see. Kind of hard to see it. It's down at the far end of the image that you're looking at now on your screen. And I do believe that he finished with a bang, and he is the last bowler. So now it's up to all the mathematicians to try to make sense out of all these scores. 30 games, 15 teams, 65 bowlers. For those of you that are big fans of geography, and I know that everybody is raising their hand right now and saying, oh, that's got to be me, but do you know that a bowling pin, must tilt at least 9 degrees to fall? 9 degrees to get that weight transfer. Oh! We have the Charlie Brown speaker here at Gage Bowl. Not sure what they said, but I think it was something to the effect that we're going to have the award ceremony take place here momentarily. We have David Trimble set up for us down there, as you can see the Special Olympics backdrop and all that beautiful hardware right in front. And going to be crowning a new state champion potentially, or possibly even see what Goddard can do and whether or not they're going to repeat. Go back with you here, and I've just been given word that the official, unofficial attendance here at Gage Bowl, 317 bowlers and fans. So in fact, there are more spectators here than there are bowlers and coaches. That is certainly an impressive feat for a Monday afternoon, and so many of these teams had to travel from across the state as far away as Garden City and down to Goddard and Hayes. A number of teams out of the Kansas City metro area. Some more interesting facts about bowling. They say that the bowling ball, should only hit 4 pins in an optimal strike. Only 4 pins. Interesting bowling trivia facts for you. Looks like we're getting a little bit closer now to set things up. David Trimble there. Is that Angelo I see, the great athletic director from Shawnee Mission Northwest? I do believe it is. Hoping to get former athletic director Shawnee Mission South, John Johnson, on the program here with us shortly. Of course, I think he's been trying to make his way over here for the past half hour, but it seems like when you're in the position that he was for so many years, everybody wants to grab his arm and kind of choose here for just a little bit. So he'll eventually get over here. We'll bring that to you live here on A10varsity.com. There's some bowling lingo for you. We talk about a bucket. A bucket is when 4 pins are left standing that form a diamond shape. That is a bucket. Very interesting. These terminologies. I don't know. Well, they have a fantastic event center here at Gage Bowl, but one of those things that
a little better over here. A little bit.
Jeremy Holiday with
all right, is that better?
Acacia.
All right. It's different every bowling center I go to. All right, just make sure if you haven't done so, check out the t-shirts. Hoodies are all on sale down here on the low end of the building. They've got plenty left, so make sure you check that out. Annie, do you guys?
Running through some of the teams that were part of this great event here in Lansing, Salina South, Olathe West. Chanute.
All right. What a great day today. Thank you, everybody, for bowling. Awesome job.
Thanking everybody for bowling. Great job to all the bowlers, certainly. And
We do want to remind you that this state tournament is sponsored by the Memphis Senior High Schools in Kansas through the Kansas State High School Activities Association. Now we're ready for standings. We're going to announce all the standings. Man. All right. I'm going to start with 15th place.
15th place coming to you.
In 15th with a series of 691, Baser Linwood.
Baser bringing home the top 15.
In 14th place with a series of 722, Garden City.
Garden City, the Buffaloes, coming in clutch, 722 for Garden City.
13th place with a series of 724, Chanute.
Chanute, 724.
In 12th place with a series of 763, Olathe East.
Olathe East.
In 11th place with a series of 774, Olathe Northwest.
Back-to-back Olathe teams. This one, the Ravens, out of Olathe Northwest.
In 10th place with a series of 786, Hayes.
Hayes, they're the Indians. And the Indian contingent just a few feet away from me here, and there's a lot of smiles over there for that top 10 finish.
787, Lansing.
Lansing, the thinnest of margins. Just one pin more than the Indians of Hayes.
8th place with a series of 800, Shawnee Mission Northwest.
Shawnee Mission Northwest. And 8th place with an even 800.
In 7th place with a series of 815, Blue Valley North.
The Mustangs of Blue Valley North coming in with that 7th spot, 815.
We did have a tie for the next position, and the tie is always broken by the highest game. So in 6th place with a series of 829 and high game of 153, Blue Valley Northwest.
Blue Valley Northwest. Got a tie there.
In 5th place with a series of 829 and a high game of 168, Piper.
Piper makes it into the top 5 with an 829.
All right, in 4th place with a series of 872, Goddard Eisenhower.
Goddard Eisenhower, and great score for Goddard Eisenhower, but that means we're going to have a new state champion.
All right, now for the top 3. When we announce your school, make your way out to the middle there, and we'll get your pictures, get your plaques to you, and all the medals to the kids. Here we go. In 3rd place with a series of 934.
934.
Salina South.
Salina South comes in with the top 3 place and the Unified Bowling Championships. So wait for Salina South and their crew to come on out and collect some hardware. And it's Steve Bush now, the longtime athletic director at Topeka Seaman. A lot of smiles and even a couple of tears up there.
Up this year with a series of 980, Olathe West.
Olathe West with 980. It's your state runner-up. See them getting medals and accepting the trophy to take back and put on the trophy case.
2022 State Unified Bowling Champions with a series of 1,026, Shawnee Mission East.
Shawnee Mission East is your 2022-23 State Unified Bowling Champion, the Lancers, with an amazing 1,026 total pins. So we see them up there. We had a chance to talk with a number of those great athletes earlier in the broadcast. A lot of excitement, certainly, but they were dialed in as much as any team.
Congratulations again to all the teams. Let's get one
They
more
came
round.
here on a mission. Shawnee Mission East.
Congratulations to participants and coaches on an outstanding season. We got plenty of time now for pictures.
Look at-
T-shirts.
Look at those smiles.
In the building. Go down there and grab those up.
And the team,
Time now for pictures.
that Shawnee Mission East team, made up of Grace Ansley, Mason Craven, Blake Danforth, Jack Shelton, and Ben Smith. The head coach is Cheryl Kaplan. Are your 2022-23 Kansas Unified Bowling State Champions. Another state title for Shawnee Mission East. Now, folks, don't go anywhere. We're going to hopefully get some of the top participants over here and talk a little bit about their experience here at Topeka. Step away just for a second, line up a couple of those interviews. So we're going to be right back here on A10varsity.com.
Hello, hello, hello.
Well, hello there.
The number so 810, and it will be available after.
Right.
So,
The easiest way that I've found to get to it is
lane 31. Look down at lane 31.
Where is lane 31?
I'm down here with the media guy who wanted to interview me.
Well, I'm trying to get out of the way.
There we go. That's 3. And there we have it. You know, folks, we were talking earlier about all the royalty that has been walking the carpet here at Gage Bowl in Topeka. And, well, I don't know that we've got a bigger one than who we have right now that's joining us on the broadcast. We have longtime athletic director from Shawnee Mission South extraordinaire, Dr. John Johnson. And, John, you know, you've been such a big part of Kansas athletics and certainly really the instrumental, kind of the driving force behind getting unified bowling into Kansas. This is the second year now. Well, we'll hold on for this announcement. All right. But, as you look now and you see the kind of the bowling center kind of clearing out here a little bit, but there was so much excitement. I wasn't able to be a part of the first year, but looking at it this year, there's so many smiles and there's so many happy kids out here and parents and administrators as well. Tell me the sense of pride that you have as you see what has developed here in Kansas over the past 2 years.
Well, obviously there's a huge sense of pride, not just for me, but for all the participants. I talked to a lot of parents, talked to a lot of coaches, talked to a lot of kids, and today is the epitome of what this is all about. It's about inclusion, and it's about the wholesomeness of the experience of interscholastic activities. The payoff of this is certainly congratulations to Shawnee Mission East. Being a Shawnee Mission guy, I'm real proud of the East Lancers to win this. But beyond that, the lessons and the relationships that are built are unique to this sport and certainly is a huge ongoing payoff. And there's a lot of pride. I mean, Sean, as you've heard me over the years say that there's a whole lot of people said yes to this. I just happened to be one of the guys that was there at the beginning, but a whole lot of people said yes, and it's only getting better. And there's a lot of pride, but it's going to benefit a lot of kids.
Well, and, pride is exactly one of the words that I used earlier, too. And, the number of parents that made the trek, whether it was from Hayes or Olathe down in Goddard that were here, that is one of the more surprising things here. We're talking standing room only back here. And to hear just the pride of the parents and the administrators like yourself that are here that are cheering on the kids, but also to see the faces of these athletes when they look back and they see their fans, holding up their hands like, the champions that they are. I mean, what a heartwarming experience for not just the athletes, but everybody here.
Yeah, it epitomizes the good in what competition and interscholastic sports is. And, we can all get jaded about, putting winning before participation and winning at all costs. But in this case, and you don't really see that a lot in high school sports, but in this case, it's an unbelievable experience for people who see it the first time. The ADs love it. There's smiles on everybody's face, and talking to the parents. This is just another element for both the athletes and the peers to grow in ways that maybe in other sports you don't get a chance to grow with the sense of inclusion that's involved here. So, it's very unique, Sean, and I highly recommend to anybody who has any inkling of is this interesting to get involved and to do it.
Well, without question, as I was talking to some of the students that were here, just not really even a part of the team, but supporting their fellow student athletes, they talk so often about the joy that they see in their fellow classmates that are a part of this program. And the joy comes out in a number of different ways, but, whether it's, the smiles, but I think another thing that just surprised me as I was interviewing a lot of these student athletes is he said, I'd ask them, what's the best part of being here today? And they talked about the friendships that they have between, their teammates. And it just hits you in the heart.
Yeah, and it's sincere. You can't fake this. You can't fake what this is about. You don't give lip service to it. This it has impact, and, all extracurricular activities for Keisha have impact for the kids that participate. This is a different kind of impact, and this is very hard to replicate because it really bridges, two things that normally don't get together. And the parents love it, the grandparents love it, the coaches love it. There's really not a downside to it.
Well, and the Special Olympics is such a big part of this program as well. I wasn't aware that it was as big of a program across the United States, but I know that the Special Olympics here in Kansas has played an integral role in addition to what you've done over the past. Tell me about that relationship between the Special Olympics and these schools and at the top level with Keisha, and kind of how they have made their mark. And what they've contributed to making this a reality.
Well, Special Olympics has the information, has the structure, answers a lot of questions from a logistical perspective. How do we get it started? What do we do? What do the games look like? And so from an athletic administration perspective, once you know that they have that, the rest of it is pretty easy for us because we know about organization, we know about creating teams, we know about creating schedules. And the Special Olympics, though, is committed to this. I mean, when they talk about, the effort and just the try and just trying to do what these kids do, they're sincere about that. They're committed to the concept. And, they're doing something that really lasts for long after they're gone.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's certainly no question. Well, I know that the following year, next year, I'm not sure where they're going to hold it next year. Have you heard yet?
I've not heard. They'll. I'm sure. My guess is it'll be out west someplace to be able to spread it around. The other thing, just so you know, Taylor Oberstadt and I made multiple presentations about this, and so Salina South, I think, took third this year.
Salina South did take third,
They took third. Well, this is their first year, and I remember their ADs were asking a lot of questions of Taylor and I at a meeting last March, and so here they are. They jump right in and look at their success. My guess is that there will be even more success because there's no barriers to entry. The entry costs aren't real high, and that financial investment more than pays itself in the intangibles.
Oh, doesn't it? Yeah, very well said. Well, Dr. Johnson, it's been a pleasure to have you here at the at Gage Bowl, but also a part of this great event for the second year in a row, where the Shawnee Mission East Lancers take the top spot, and we hope that we'll be able to have you back on next year.
Okay, and I just give a shout out, just so you know, that's my daughter.
Oh, well, a proud daughter, no doubt.
Yeah, she's a head coach for Olathe Northwest.
Oh, all right, very good. Well, I think she might be a great one to put on the headset. I don't know. What do you think?
You want to talk to her?
I think I absolutely do.
All right. She's a little smarter than I am, just so you know.
Well, I don't know about that.
I just came to tell my dad bye.
Well, when your dad has a microphone in front of his face and it's time for him to go away, I think he was kind of hinting that we should have you on the broadcast as well. So, first of all, tell us your name and your school that you're affiliated with and why you're here at Gage Bowl in Topeka today.
Okay, well, I'm Dominique Flewis. I am the head coach at Olathe Northwest High School, and we are here today because our kids are awesome at Olathe Northwest and made it to state.
Very good. Now, how many kids did you bring today?
We had 5, but then we also brought some spectators. Some of the other kids that were on the team wanted to come watch.
Oh, absolutely. We were talking about that. Just the number of people that were here, the fans in the stands, if you will, was just amazing.
It really was.
It had to be, 5 or 6 people for every participant here, standing room only. Now, is this the second or the first year for for Northwest in the Unified Bowling program?
This is the second year, but this is my first year coaching, and then our first year to state.
What have you learned from these kids this year?
What haven't I learned? The number one thing is you can't take life too serious. These kids really, really show us what it is to be kind and just be good humans.
And I was telling your dad, walking up and down and talking with a number of these kids, I just asked him what's the best part of this weekend, or best part of today, rather. They said it's the friendships.
Yes.
Sure, they're having a great time, throwing the ball and, trying to do their best, but it's just the friendships.
That's exactly what it is.
And not just from their fellow students, but also coaches like yourself.
I agree. These kids are wonderful kids, and I plan to stay in touch with all of them as the years go.
Like a fantastic teacher does. Well, hopefully tomorrow, or not tomorrow, well, maybe tomorrow, but hopefully next year you'll be able to bring your team back here again. And, for all those programs out there that might be tuning in today or watching this down the road, and they're thinking about putting together a program, What's something that you would tell, the athletic director or maybe a teacher or a coach that's looking to bring this to their school?
I say do it, because all it's going to do is bring the school, the community closer, and I've definitely seen that through our program. It might take a few years to get it to grow, and you might have to do a little bit of, recruiting kids, but
Sure.
once they get into it, you see how much they love it.
Without question. Well, we've loved having you on here, and I don't know where John Johnson went, but I don't know. He's got to run for his money now. His daughter up here, kind of upstaging him. Dominic Fluise with the Ravens out of Olathe, or excuse me, Olathe Northwest.
Yes.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks so much for being with us.
All
and
right.
Congratulations to your team on their 744
Yes.
today.
Yeah. No, 774.
774.
Get it right. No. We need all the points we can get.
Clearly, math is one of my many weak suits, but thank you so much for taking some time and being with us.
Of course. Thank you.
You bet. Dominic Fluise, head coach of Olathe Northwest, the daughter of a longtime athletic director from Shawnee Mission South. John Johnson with us here, one of the most instrumental people bringing the program here to Kansas. Well, things are about wrapped up here. Doesn't last long. I told you at the start of the broadcast, as soon as we get started, you're going to think, wait a second, is it over already? Well, folks, it certainly is. The trophies and the medals have been handed out, and so many of the kids have packed up their vans and buses and getting ready to head for whether it's Culver's or Brahms on the way home to their respective schools and have the spoils of their great efforts here today in Topeka. My name is Sean Brewer on behalf of David Trimble and everybody at the 810 Varsity Mothership, Nolan Rader, Chad Rader as well. Thanks for being a part of the broadcast today, and we hope to see you again next year, wherever that may be, at the Acacia Unified Bowling Championships.